In a city that never slept, where the lights of the towering skyscrapers twinkled like stars, Leela lived a life of quiet isolation. She was a music therapist by day, helping her patients find comfort in sound, but at night, she was something else, an explorer of worlds she couldn't fully understand. Music had always been a strange companion for Leela. Since childhood, melodies would appear in her mind unbidden, beautiful and otherworldly. But one melody had always stood apart, a tune that seemed older than time itself. It was simple, yet intricate, and every time she played it on her piano, she felt as though something or someone was listening. One particular night, as the autumn wind howled outside her apartment, Leela sat at her piano, her fingers hovering over the keys. She started to play, and for the first time, the air around her seemed to vibrate, almost as if the space itself was responding. The music felt like it was communicating with the cosmos. As the last note rang out, something extraordinary happened. A low hum echoed back to her, not from the piano, but from everywhere at once. Startled, she looked around the room. The sound was not just auditory, it was resonant, vibrating through her very bones. She felt it in her chest, in her mind, as if reality itself was trying to tell her something. And then, there he was again. The figure appeared in the dim light, barely more than a silhouette at first, but becoming more defined as he stepped forward. He was tall, with sharp features, his form shimmering in and out of focus as if he didn't fully belong in her world. His eyes, though, were clear, dark and endless, filled with the weight of countless years. "You've come again," Leela whispered, her heart pounding. "I had no choice," he said, his voice soft yet reverberating with a strange energy. "The song, you've been playing it, and it reaches me across the void." "What void?" Leela asked, her voice trembling. She felt like she was on the verge of understanding something huge, something that would change everything she knew. Elias stepped closer, his presence both comforting and overwhelming. "The space between realities," he said. "You are playing more than music, Leela. What you hear as sound, as melody, it's a force, a vibration that resonates across dimensions, across time." Leela blinked, trying to grasp his words. "But how? Why can I play it? What does it mean?" Elias looked away, his face lined with sorrow. "Because you carry something ancient within you. A memory, a fragment of a soul that once knew the stars intimately." He turned back to her, his gaze intense. "You don't know it yet, but your music is connected to the very fabric of the universe. You see, the universe isn't silent. It sings. Everything, from the smallest atom to the largest black hole, vibrates with energy, and that energy creates a kind of symphony." Leela's breath caught. "Like string theory?" Elias nodded, his expression softening. "Yes, exactly. In the universe, at the most fundamental level, everything is made of tiny, vibrating strings of energy. And those vibrations, in their purest form, create sound, though it's a sound most beings can't hear." She sat down, trying to comprehend the scale of what he was saying. "But, what does that have to do with me?" Elias' face grew more serious. "Long ago, my people, my civilization, discovered how to manipulate these cosmic vibrations. We learned that music wasn't just art. It was science. It was the key to moving between worlds. We created instruments capable of tuning into the fundamental frequencies of the universe, allowing us to travel through space, time, and even dimensions." He hesitated before continuing. "Elara, my partner, she was the one who first perfected this technology. Together, we composed the melody you now play. It was meant to be our message to the stars. a way to connect with other beings across the universe, across dimensions. But something went wrong. In our final experiment, we opened a doorway to something beyond even our understanding. Elara was lost, and I. He trailed off, the pain evident in his eyes. Lost where? Leela asked softly. To a different realm, he said. One that exists outside the flow of time as you understand it. It's a place between dimensions where reality is fluid, and I've been trapped there ever since. Leela's heart ached for him. And now you think I can help you? That I can bring her back? Elias looked at her with something like hope in his eyes. The melody you've been playing, it's the key to finishing what we started. You can open the doorway again, but this time, we can control it. Leela hesitated. But what if it goes wrong again? What if? Elias stepped closer, his form becoming more solid. We won't make the same mistake. This time, you won't be alone. He reached out, and she felt his hand, warm and solid in hers. You're connected to her, Leela. Elara's soul, her essence, resides in you, across time, across space. That's why you know the melody. That's why it comes to you without explanation. She stared at him, her mind racing. The idea that she was somehow linked to another being, one from across the stars, was overwhelming. Yet it felt right. It felt like the missing piece of her life, the answer to why she had always felt so out of place in this world. Elias turned toward the window, gazing out at the night sky. We don't have much time. The universe is expanding faster than we ever imagined. Dark energy is pulling everything apart. Soon, the stars themselves will drift too far away to ever be reached. Leela frowned. But the universe won't end for billions of years. Elias shook his head. Time doesn't work the same way in every dimension. In my world, it's already unraveling. We need to act now, before it's too late. He walked over to the piano, his fingers brushing the keys. There's one last piece to the song, one final chord that will bridge the gap between our worlds. You have to play it with me. Together, we can align the vibrations, create the resonance needed to open the doorway. Leela sat down beside him, her hands trembling as she placed them on the keys. What happens if we succeed? Elias smiled sadly. I'll be able to return. To find Elara. And you'll finally understand who you are. With a deep breath, they began to play. The melody filled the room, swirling around them like a living thing. The air shimmered, and the walls of her apartment began to dissolve into starlight. The universe unfolded before them, galaxies spiraling, stars being born and dying in a cosmic dance. As they reached the final note, a surge of energy pulsed through the piano. Leela felt her entire body vibrate, as if she were becoming part of the music itself. The room was gone now, replaced by a vast expanse of stars, black holes, and nebulae. They were no longer bound by the laws of physics, they were floating in the very fabric of space-time itself. In the distance, a massive structure appeared, unlike anything Leela had ever seen. It was ancient, towering, and alive with light. She realized with a shock that it wasn't just a structure, it was an instrument. A cosmic organ, built from the bones of dead stars, each key a black hole, each chord a gravitational wave. This is it, Elias whispered. The Nexus. Leela's breath caught in her throat. What is it? The Nexus is the center of everything, Elias explained, his voice full of awe. It's where all dimensions meet, where time and space converge. It's where Elara is. They floated toward the nexus, their bodies weightless. As they approached, the air hummed with energy, the same vibration as the melody they had played. It was as if the universe itself was welcoming them. Suddenly, Leela felt a pull, a deep, instinctual connection to the structure. She realized then that she wasn't just playing a role in this story. She was part of the nexus, part of the cosmic song that had been playing since the beginning of time. She was both the key and the door. With trembling hands, she reached out, touching the surface of the nexus. The moment she made contact, the universe exploded with light. Time unraveled, space folded in on itself, and for a brief moment, Leela saw everything, every life, every world, every possibility. And then, in the center of it all, she saw her. Elara. The woman from Elias' memory stood before her, radiant and whole, her eyes filled with the same sorrow and love that Leela had always felt but never understood. "You found me," Elara whispered, her voice like the echo of a distant star. Leela nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't do it alone." Elara smiled, and for the first time, Leela felt complete. She understood now. She was not just Leela. She was part of something much larger, a thread in the cosmic symphony that had been playing for eons. She was both the past and the future, the beginning and the end. As the light faded, Leela felt herself being pulled back to her apartment. The piano was silent, the room still. Elias was gone, and so was Elara. But Leela wasn't alone. She had the stars.